Greg, how did you meet Tana?
Well, it depends on which version you want, but my version is she pushed me against a locker in 6th grade, kicked me, and moved away the next day.
Hey, Tana, tell us how you met Greg.
Well, that's a fun story. I moved around a lot when I was younger, and I ended up going to Union Middle School, and I was actually not supposed to be going there, but I went there long enough to run into Greg, and I knew that I was going to change school, and I knew I was going the next day, so I kind of pushed him and kissed him.
And then in 9th grade, he came into Hillcrest, and from her story, and would stand around the corner and watch and try to get my attention. I was too busy off doing high school stuff.
Then in 10th grade, I would move quite a bit, and I ran into him again. We went to Hillcrest in 10th grade, and it was before stalking. They didn't call it stalking. I just knew his schedule, right? So it was I just knew his schedule. I had a crush on him. He just wasn't into it.
About 17 years later, we became Facebook friends.
Then later on in life, out to me through Facebook and said that he was, he's like, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings in the past. I'm trying to make amends for some past wrongs. And I just said, well, I've been in therapy for years because of that, and now I can close this chapter. And of course that wasn't true, but maybe I should have been in therapy. I don't know. But
he posted a post that said, if you don't hear from me tomorrow, it's because I've made some changes in my life, and you're one of it.
Then a few years later, on a Facebook post, I put, I'm currently going through some changes, and if you don't hear from me, you're one of them. And
he jumped up and said first, and asked her what was going on, and she said she was going through some things, and I said, well, when that gets ironed out, give me a call. And we've been married 14 years.
He reached out and asked if I was going through a divorce, and I said yes. And I said, well, I don't want to talk to you until I'm all done and I know what I'm doing. And so then a couple years later, I moved to Utah, back to Utah, and we were going to date. And I said, I want to date around. And then that was in March of 2011. And we got married 11/11/11. Oh, that's how we met, and that's how we got together.